Don't give me 100 crackheads. What? That gorilla, it's over. I can go
That
if
that
I
no
get a
that fight's done faster because the gorilla will destroy them. You
if
said a
I
coordinated attack. You want to coordinate 100
you
crackheads?
don't need coordinate with crackheads, bro.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I might have told you this. I don't know. I went 3 times in my life to
Mm-hmm.
Disney World at 3 different stages in my life. So I went when I was 11. So it was dope. It was like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a kid in a candy store. Then I went for spring break when I was 21 with my girlfriend at the time, who ended up
Wait,
being
you
my
chose to
wife.
go to spring break?
Yes, and it was dope. We were in Epcot drunk.
You were one of those people, man.
It
One
was
of them
so
grown
dope.
ups in Disney World that just look weird.
Yeah, yo, Epcot is dope, man. And then
Epcot is trash.
no, it
Epcot is the worst.
isn't.
It's the worst part.
It's the best part. It's the best part, especially well for adults. Like if you're an adult, it's the best part. And then I went at what when I was 30 with 2 kids and one on the way. Like so, it was like a different experience each time, and I had a blast each time. I love that place.
I've only ever been with kids, and it's terrible.
Go as an adult, man. I'm telling you, go to Epcot and you hit all around the world. You drink from all around the world. Yeah,
You know what you going how much you gonna pay to do that? Probably
it's
about
not,
$400
that's
because
that's not
every drink is 32 cash.
that's not
So
the point though.
that is the
You're
point.
supposed the point is the experience, man. You got it.
Um,
Like you're not going to Disney World to like not spend money.
oh, I'm going
That's
everywhere to not spend money. So that's a myth.
no, you're doing it wrong, man. You're doing it wrong. Are we recording?
Yes, we're
Okay,
recording.
cool. Uh, all right, let's get started.
Let's get started. Before we get started, I got a question for you.
Hold on, we got to do the intros first, man. At
Okay,
least,
you're right.
at
You're right.
least,
Correct.
let the
Absolutely.
people know who we are.
What's that? Go ahead, brother. I'm
I'm
listening.
waiting on you. You do the
Oh
intros.
shit! Listen,
You forgot already.
this what happens when you take a week off.
Yeah, you do the intro,
this happens when
and
you.
don't forget your quote.
Oh damn! I didn't even think about my quote. Um.
We got time. We can edit.
Well, first and foremost, we want to thank y'all for joining. You know what it is. Two dope ass nerds. I'm Ernest Drummond. That's Anton Tate.
Yes, sir.
Where you tuning in from today? Is that the Millennium Falcon, or is
No,
that
this is. Oh man, you're gonna call me out as a fraud. This I don't remember what this. Oh, this is
is that the Death Star?
the destroyer. No, not the Death Star. It's the. Oh man, what is it called? Dang man, I'm better than this. Everyone, I promise you. I know my Star Wars, but it's the ship Darth Vader was on. Whatever. It's the big destroyer, John. That was flying. To capture Princess Leia when she had stolen the
Mm-hmm.
plans to the Death Star. That's where I'm at. Um, and yes, I'm Anton, and I'm just gonna say this: you keep dancing with the devil, one day he's gonna follow you home.
Okay.
Come on now,
I
that's a
guess
new
I'm
one.
gonna just listen. I'm gonna just. That's the one right there. I'm gonna just go with I could do this all day.
Yes, sir.
Keep it.
Keep it
I had to
simple.
think of something real
Keep it
quick to
simple
say.
and classic.
Keep it
Simple and
simple and
classic.
classic,
I
dog.
get it. I get it. Yeah, we're back for another episode. Two dope ass nerds. We went on a little hiatus because Ern went on vacation
Not by
to the
choice.
happiest place on earth.
Not the happiest place on earth. It's a myth.
Happiest place on earth, man. I love
Submit.
that place.
Most expensive place on earth. That's what they should change the name to.
All right, so you said you had a question.
Yes. So there is a tweet that's running the world right now, right?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Everybody wants to know the answer to this tweet. So the tweet is somebody put out there that they think if you get 100 dedicated ninjas, right, then they could beat or take on one gorilla, silverback specifically. So I was want to get your thoughts on that topic.
So this is crazy because that was the question of the week.
Man, great
So
minds think alike.
great minds, once again, great minds. So I didn't hear ninjas. I've just been hearing like on TikTok, it's just dudes, just like a
Well, just
hundred
men.
men,
Yes, yes,
a
correct. But
hundred men.
yes,
So I have,
but
I actually have. Look, man. We could have, we could have 100 LeBron Jameses in his prime, and we're not gonna beat one gorilla, dog.
oh, that's
Listen, no,
blasphemous.
man. Look, man. Look, I've done a deep dive on this. Like, here's just some of the science that I've learned.
Okay.
Just a gorilla's bones alone
Hmm.
are 10 times more dense than a human being's bones. Okay, that's just the bones alone. Their skin, we don't have the like the bite capacity. What do you call that?
The bite
The
strength.
bite strength to bite through their skin. So just picture that their skin is super tough, their bones are super strong and dense, and then there has to be muscle wrapped around that. That has to be even bigger and stronger. You're not breaking none of their limbs, ribs. You're not. The, these 100 men don't have weapons. It's hand to hand combat. Okay, their grip strength is 1400 psi.
Sound like a lot.
The average man's grip strength is 75.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
means a gorilla can grab your head and just crush it like a soda can.
Hmm.
Listen, and I keep hearing people saying like, well, they don't have the stamina.
Yeah.
Well, like, so I get, does that mean your game plan is to just run away from the gorilla? Somebody's not fast enough for this gorilla, and someone is going to get their skull crushed. Then the other thing I hear is, I'm going for the eyes. I'm going to gouge out their eyes. If you even get close enough for this gorilla with these long ass arms, if you get close enough to their eyes, they're going to rip your hands off your wrists and throw them in the woods somewhere. Like there's no way, right? And and here's the other thing I want to point out. See, you first said ninjas. I didn't hear ninjas. Only thing I've been hearing, and I've been like I said, looking through
Hmm.
TikTok, is just dudes. It's just regular dudes talking. Like, listen, man, we get 100 of us. They can't take us. Regular dudes
Yeah.
like me.
So
No,
can
we're gonna
can I?
die. And as soon regular dudes get together, 100 of us, and as soon as that gorilla catches one of us and rips our arm off, half of us are running for our lives. We automatically lost there.
Mm. Okay.
It's a wrap. There's no way.
So it's a couple loopholes in this argument, right?
First of all, I want to say I'm so glad you're going against me, because I was hoping, I was like, I hope he says something
That's
dumb as
the
hell.
truth.
Go
That's
ahead,
the truth. It's
tell me.
not dumb.
Yes, it
But
is.
first, in this fight, we need to understand what our motivation is,
Mhm.
right? If we just out in the wild and we happen upon a gorilla, you probably right in terms of what's going to happen. But if we fighting for something, you know what I'm saying? It changes the dynamic, right? It changes the dynamic, right?
You're fighting for your life.
So you just cornered, is what you're saying. 100 people just got
No,
cornered by a gorilla.
you okay? Let's say let's say it's like Gladiator, when
Hmm.
they let the lion in. Like, you're in an arena,
So
and
they
that
tell you
it's kill
you
or
if
be
it's
killed.
kill or be killed, right? Okay,
Yeah,
peep game. So cool. Now we motivated. Now you fucked up, right? Here's where you fucked up.
no
Because now,
weapons. Go ahead.
listen. Now we're motivated. And here's the thing. Another caveat: the whole no weapons things is out the window, because to humans everything's a weapon. unless we in a bare box room, right? We gonna find a weapon, bro. Whether it's a stone, a brick, a stick, we gonna find something,
All that's
right?
gonna do is anger the gorilla.
That's cool, but we motivated, so we good. We understand. We understand that at this point, at this juncture, right? That some will die. We get that, right? So here's the thing: the this is where the gorilla would normally have the advantage, right? If we're just out and we happen upon a silverback gorilla and it rushes and it rip one person apart, yes, all 99 are going to run. But if we are fighting for our lives, we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work, right? And to your point, right? We bum rushing, we take out his eyes. You said it, right? You disorient him. If he can't see, he can't kill,
That's not
right?
true.
It's
He's
not
an
true.
animal with
He can
heightened
still just
senses.
swing. Correct. All right, you're right. But once we got his eyes done with our makeshift weapons that we have found and made, you know what I'm saying, from the environment, it's over for him, bro. Here's the thing.
Okay,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do you think this? You people think this scenario has never really happened, but I'm sure there's been indigenous wood people that have taken down a gorilla,
with
right?
weapons for sure. With
That they
weapons,
created from the land. They might. I ain't talking about no guns, no
spears.
machetes. I'm talking about you. You made something. Whether it's you
Mhm.
sharpened a stick, XYZ, you took him down. See, here's the thing. Don't doubt, do not ever doubt the resolve of human beings, bro. When it come to push comes to shove, we gonna make it happen. I get it. It's a fierce opponent, but it's 100 of us, and we all dedicated to the same cause. It's over, bro. It's over
It's a
for him.
hundred
Mhm.
regular ass dudes.
Yeah,
We're not talking about a bunch of cravens here. We're
cool,
talking about you and me and 100 of our friends.
bro. We
We ain't been in the
good.
jungles.
We
We
good.
ain't been in the jungles. We don't know how to make spears. We
I
don't know how to
listen,
sharpen.
listen.
We don't know how to do that.
All I need
And
is
the rules are hand to hand. So you actually cannot have weapons the way you're talking about. You can't have weapons.
well. Here's the
That
first thing:
that's
is no rules in a street fight. So that's the first thing.
and
You
that's
can't.
where the gorilla has the advantage because there's no rules in a street fight. So he's going to eat you.
He gonna
That
eat. He gonna eat a couple people. That's facts.
more than a couple,
Some will die.
a lot,
Many will
all.
be injured. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we will stand victorious. Oh,
This
first
is
of all, here's what's gonna
ridiculous.
happen. I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna break down, right? And don't let us get somebody like uh like my man from Independence Day to give us a speech before the Rumble, bro. Cause then we lit, and then we turned up. You know what I'm saying? We will not go quietly into the night. You know, we get one of them, it's over for the gorilla.
They didn't win Independence Day with brute force. Okay, all the people that went up against the spaceship died. All of them
Hey man,
died running into a force field. They had to sabotage their way into the inner workings. Who's going inside? Who is getting close to the gorilla to gouge out its eyes?
listen. You
Who's
get you
getting close
get
to the gorilla's
you
mouth
get so listen.
and arm length?
You get you get 10 on the left leg, 10 on the right leg, 10 on the left arm, 10 on the right arm. And then you have somebody come over top with these. Once he can't
You are
see, now we
grossly
got the advantage.
underestimating the strength of this gorilla, man. Whoever the first person to try to grab the gorilla's arms, they are getting thrown sky high into the air. Whoever that first person is they're gone. The
It's
next person you're
10,
going
10
to
of them.
you ever you,
Coordinated.
ten, okay.
Coordinated. It's a
This
coordinated
is
grab.
ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All every I wouldn't even say everyone because the majority of them will start running for their lives once they see the
Not if they know they're
massacre that's
going to die
happening by one
anyway.
gorilla.
Not if they know they're gonna die anyway. Then you fighting for your life. Don't give me 100 crackheads. What? That gorilla it's over. I can go
That
if
that
I
no,
get a
that fight's done faster because the gorilla will destroy them. You
if
said a
I
coordinated attack. You want to coordinate 100
you
crackheads?
don't need coordinate with crackheads, bro.
Oh my gosh,
They
you're
just
being
out here.
ridiculous for
They just
sure
out
now.
though. If they can live on Kensington for 2 years, they ain't worried about no gorilla, bro.
They're gonna tear them limb from limb,
You
every
doubting
which way.
you're severely underestimating the human
No,
result.
I'm. This is a crazy. This argument reminds me of the white and gold dress, the blue and black dress. Like
Hmm.
we're never gonna come to an agreement on this, even though and one side thinks the other side is ridiculous.
I
Science says
listen.
otherwise. Science says the gorilla
I stand by the
destroys.
fact that this scenario has likely happened in the past, and humans survived.
Not I agree the scenarios probably happened in
The
the
first
past.
group of humans to encounter gorilla didn't have weapons. They just
Of
took them
course they
down.
did. Of course they
Nah,
did.
nah.
The first ones who didn't have weapons died, and then the ones that survived planned a coordinated attack. That's what happened because that's what humans do. We adapt.
Yeah.
So if you want to put us in there, so we all die first, and then the other 100 come with a different mission and maybe some spears, then you got a chance. But it's not gonna happen, man. Don't don't volunteer for this if
Listen,
they
listen,
decide to do it.
listen, listen. Agree to disagree.
Obviously, obviously, obviously. All right. Let's move on to our newest segment here. It's the top five.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm adjust it a little bit because it may take some thought. So we're gonna make it a top three for this one. So we've watched a few sequels recently.
Yeah.
So I want to know your top three best third movie in a
Third.
film
Damn.
series. And
Okay.
if you need some examples, I'll throw some out there, and maybe it'll jog some memory, some other ones. So I'll do that. So we'll go Star Wars,
Hmm.
Godfather, Fast and the Furious, the Dark Knight trilogy, Captain America, Thor, Jurassic Park, Matrix,
Okay.
Born, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones. There's a whole bunch. Maybe that get your juices flowing. RoboCop. It's another
So
one.
I
Predator.
know. I think I got my three. I think I got my three.
Okay. What are they? Top
So
three best third movies in a
third
series, in a film
installments. These
series.
third installments is kind of fun because I'm trying to remember if these are the third installments. But okay, here
Mm-hmm.
we go. We gonna go the Lord of the Rings. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
start there. I'm gonna go Die Hard. I think Die
Nice.
Hard that would be with a vengeance,
Die
right?
Hard with a Vengeance.
With a
Die Hard with a
vengeance.
Vengeance.
Okay, and then three. Give me Toy Story 3.
Ooh. Wow. That's a good list. Was that
Good
what
list.
was that 1, 2, and 3 for you, or was that
Oh, no order,
3,
no
2, 1?
order. I'm
No
just
order,
trying
no
to
order. Okay,
no
got you,
order.
got you, got you. Okay, I like it. I like all that. Die Hard with a Vengeance is on my list.
Okay.
I thought I would shock you with that one, but
Who
apparently not.
doesn't? First of all, it's the best. It's the best one out of the series.
Well, come on, man.
It
Come on.
is. It
It's not
is.
the best sequel out of the series. It's not the best one out of
It's
the
the
series.
third. It's the third movie. It's the best one out of the series.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree on that one too. But yeah, it's a great movie. It's better
That
than the
in the
second one
same
for
bucket as
sure.
the Gorillas versus 100 Men.
It's definitely the best. It's definitely the best. Or it's definitely better than the second Die Harder.
Correct.
I'm gonna go with Die Hard with a Vengeance. Return of the Jedi.
Now
No. Scratch that. Not Return of the Jedi. Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the
okay.
Sith.
So you're going with the actual third installment, not the
The
third movie made, right? Because Revenge of the Sith is
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
So revenge. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Technically,
Mm,
Star Wars is 3.
Do six.
Trilogies,
Right.
three separate
Got
trilogies.
you.
So
Got
that's
you.
what I'm
Okay.
doing. Yes, yes. So the prequel trilogy, Revenge of the
Do the
Sith,
Sith. Okay.
which I
I
actually
like it.
just watched this weekend, and it's
20th
great.
anniversary, right? 20th anniversary.
I actually didn't go
Or
to the theater to see it. I wish I
or
did,
no,
but
it's
yeah,
episode two is the 20th anniversary. Episode two.
no, it was Revenge. It's Revenge of the Sith, 20th
Is it?
anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. It's out in theaters. Indiana Jones and the what is it? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Is that the
The one
third one?
that's the third one. That's the third one with Indiana Jones and what's his face? James Bond plays his father. Sean Connery. Sean
Sean
Connery.
Connery.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Okay.
Even though the second one is dope too. But
Side note:
yeah,
best one of the best things about Disney is doing the live action Indiana Jones, where they show you this how they do the special effects and stuff. It was a good
yeah.
show.
The
Really good show.
yeah, the when they do like the backstory stuff, like they have
No, they
like the
just
hour
they
long specials
yeah. It's like they have like the stunt
behind the
directors out there.
scenes.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. The one they have a really great series on Star Wars, the entire making of Star Wars, all this behind the scenes footage, and it's great documentary. Um, all right, I like your top three. It's not better than mine, but I do like your top three.
I beg the
Um,
difference a little bit.
um, Lord of the Rings surprised me. That one surprised me. That third one is the only Lord of the Rings one that I like. I don't really necessarily like the other ones, to
Really?
be honest with you. I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Um, but I did see the first three in the movie theater, and that one was the only one where I was like, okay, I'll see that one again.
Okay.
Um,
You
all right,
also
cool.
you also probably could go Harry Potter if we really wanted to.
Harry Potter, that would be what? Prisoner of Azkaban, right? Wouldn't that be that one?
It was it's the stone.
Stone, and then Chamber
Yes.
of Secrets,
Chamber of Secrets,
Prisoner of
then Prisoner
Azkaban.
of Azkaban. Yeah. My,
So
my man,
here,
Sirius Black,
my
best
only thing,
character in Harry Potter.
I think that movie is good, but also as someone who read the books, it's so they didn't do a good job with explaining just the dynamic of the friendship
Mm-hmm.
of Sirius Black and Harry's
Lily Pop.
dad and all of them, the Marauders. I thought they really flubbed that part of the movie, and it was confusing. Like if you didn't read the stories, I felt like it was confusing. That's my only problem with that movie.
Did
That's
you
why I
did
didn't.
you read the books before you watched the movie?
I read the first three books before the movies,
Okay.
and I actually haven't read all the books. I've only read up to the fifth book, Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read that book before the movie came out, though, the Prisoner of Azkaban. But it is a good movie, and it definitely is. I think it's probably top two in that series with the whole thing put together.
Mhm.
So yes, honorable mention. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. I like it.
All right. So let's get into some news. Maybe go through the news quick. I don't know if you got a lot to say on our topic today or not. So let's see what happens. So it's been like 2 weeks. So I got some stuff from last week.
Okay.
So the new Fantastic Four trailer dropped. I don't know if you saw that.
Seen it. I did see it.
Had a lot more visual information for sure. We saw more of their powers, more Johnny Storm. Saw some Mr. Fantastic stretchy stuff. Um, Sue Storm is going to be pregnant in this one. That's very interesting.
Franklin.
Considering who she's pregnant with, yep, and how he will probably be very important to the story that's to come. Um, they said Reed may have Lord Galactus to that universe. Well, that's pretty interesting.
It's
And then
probably it's probably by accident.
true.
You know that's been like an overwhelming story. Like they fuck up on accident.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And then probably the biggest reveal was a full reveal of the Shalabao Silver Surfer, um, which I thought looked. I think she looks cool, but I actually think the Silver Surfer from the second Fantastic Four movie looked a little bit better. But overall, it. I mean, it just made me want to see it more. I was going to see it before. I'm definitely seeing it as soon as it comes out now. It looks great.
I don't think it's very much that could stop you from seeing it. So,
Yeah,
yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
let's be frank. Like
yeah,
the fact there's a Fantastic Four movie finally being released, we were going to see it.
yeah.
So no, I like the trailer. I think it was. I think it was. When I say it didn't, for me, it didn't. I don't feel like it revealed too much,
Hmm.
which was one of my bigger issues with Brave New World. Um,
Hmm.
I think it gave you a little bit of insight, made you more intrigued on what the storyline will actually be.
Hmm.
Um, I'm still wondering, do we see Victor in this movie?
Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
I feel like we have to. Wouldn't it be weird to just start Doomsday off cold turkey like that?
Yeah, that's the question.
I think they got to somehow. They got to. Um, maybe I mean he's probably not the main villain in that movie, but he's gotta be shown. I would think. Um, I liked seeing the dynamic of the family. They showed a little bit
Mm.
more of that. Um, it's good casting, man. I think I said before, like Pedro Pascal wouldn't have been my first choice, but I think he's gonna kill that.
I like Pedro as Reed. My only issue is that they already set somebody else up to be Reed.
Right. Yeah.
That people actually liked the
Hmm.
casting of,
Hmm.
and then you hit that flippity floppity shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But um, I could see them figuring out a way to have both of them in uh Doomsday.
Yeah. I think everything's gonna be thrown into the pot for Doomsday and the one after that too.
Yeah,
And then after that, then they'll situate everything the way they want it from here on out, including whatever the hell they're gonna do with T'Challa and Black Panther. Because I think T'Challa's definitely coming back.
it's time to recast, baby. Let's get it done.
True that. Next up, the Thunderbolts. The reviews are in. It comes out, I guess, actually, technically today. They got some midnight screenings or whatever, early
Yeah,
screenings. It comes out tomorrow, May 2nd. Um, Reviews are in and they are extremely positive.
very
Um,
positive.
90% on Rotten Tomatoes, last I checked. Um, some of the little quotes I was seeing, like breath of fresh air, much needed course correction for the MCU. Um, Best MCU movie since someone said best one since the original Avengers,
So
which
so
I think is
so
high praise. So
cr- cr- I was listening to I listened to ESPN while I'm at work a lot of times when
mhm,
I'm doing my thing. And the previews aren't visual, they're audible, right? So
mhm,
when they're saying, Thunderbolts releases this Thursday, best Marvel, they kept saying best Marvel movie since Avengers Endgame. And I thought that was kind of like a crazy thing to put out there. Like
mhm,
you're pretty much saying, I don't, because it's like if this movie sucks and you're saying it's the best since Endgame, now you got issues.
yeah,
But I do know two people that have actually seen the movie thus far,
okay,
and from what I've been told, is the reviews are accurate. Like it's a really really good movie. Everything you said, breath of fresh air,
mhm,
um, course correction, reset, all those words were tossed out there. So I'm excited to see it. Um, Movies like this, I try to get out to see it within like the first 4 or 5 days because spoilers come hot and
Yeah, no.
heavy. Um, but no, yeah, everything you said, I've heard. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like you. I'm gonna try to see it this weekend. I purposefully haven't seen the, but I've only seen one of the trailers. So I'm going in kind of cold, which I like. But we'll see. I like Florence Pugh. I think she's a great actress, and it seems like she's kind of the centerpiece of the story, and that's a good choice. So
mhm.
see what happens. I got some kind of a few kind of quick hitters here. Ryan Coogler. I know Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther, Sinners, um, Creed. He is doing an X Files reboot. Um, he announced it on. I actually listened to this podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. He announced it on the last podcast on the left podcast, and he said that that will be his next project. He's getting that together. Um, he has talked with some of the original cast. They right now are not signed on to it, but I guess everybody has. He they all gave him their blessing, and it's supposed to be good. A lot of people are excited about that. I'm not a huge X Files
I was
fan,
gonna say I
but
never liked the X Files.
yeah, well, it honestly it was too scary for me as a kid,
I
so I never really got
that's where I
into it.
lived. That's where I lived.
Yeah,
It wasn't at the age where it was at its height of popularity. I wasn't into horror.
yeah, yeah. I would. I mean, it's Ryan Coogler, so I'm definitely gonna check it out.
He got the Midas touch, man. He
Yeah,
got the Midas touch right now. Everything he does seems to come out beautiful. So,
yeah,
um, his name attached to something at this point, I think, will bring out, you know, the fan base.
yeah,
Let us hope that he continues to produce great artistic work.
yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk much more about Ryan Coogler. Um, Another quick one. J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man 4. Um, Maybe he'll have a little bit of a bigger part in this one. I like J.K. Simmons a lot. He's great as J. Jonah Jameson. That's about it. I just like that news. Any thoughts on that?
Um, I like how they portray him
Mhm.
in this spider universe. Like it seems like he comes across more as a like podcaster, streamer type guy as opposed to somebody who's overseeing this multifaceted newspaper. Um there's really no I think they may introduce the interaction between the two characters because right
Mhm.
now it's just him ranting on TV but there is a dynamic between the two characters that needs to be explored.
Yeah.
I think he's the actor. What's his name?
J.K. Simmons.
I think he's done a bang up job portraying the character. Like you see him when you see that character. So,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, bring him back.
That's a good point that they do have an actual relationship, a
Yeah,
dynamic in the
yeah,
comics that is big for the story, and where they're at, where they should be at, is, with the new with everyone forgetting who Peter is and all that, we could kind of get to like
right.
some regular comic book stuff where he works for J. Jonah Jameson.
I mean,
Uh,
that's what
However
I
that'll
mean.
be.
He's at the stage in his life where he's kind of got to fend for himself, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, part of that includes making money.
Mhm, mhm. Next bit of news. This one was a surprise because I look at news all the time for these type of things, and I hadn't heard this. But they not only is there going to be a live action Voltron, but they
uh,
have
Henry
finished.
Cavill.
Yeah, they finished principal photography on it. It's
Yeah.
not just Henry Cavill; it's also Sterling K. Brown is starring in this.
Okay.
They wrap production. I don't know when it's supposed to come out, but that I hadn't heard anything about that. That was like somehow under the radar, or I just missed it somehow. So I think that will be interesting. I like Henry Cavill in that when he does projects like these, he's such a nerd
Hmm.
he does his best to make sure things are as accurate as possible.
Is he too old to be? I don't know what role he's playing.
I don't know what
I
role he's
guess,
playing. I don't know what role
but if
anybody's
he's
playing.
one of the pilots, I don't know if I feel about it.
I mean, maybe he's. I don't know. I don't know. I really can't say. Maybe he's a commanding officer. Maybe he's a teacher, something like that. I don't know, um, but his geekdom
Hmm.
won't let him do projects that aren't like authentic to the source material. So I think that'll be good. And then Sterling K.
Well,
Brown
what the
is
fuck happened with
amazing.
Superman?
Well, first of all, that was his first starring role. Okay, that was his first starring
Hey man,
role.
I'm just asking questions.
All right, you got to get your feet wet first, dog.
You said
You can't
his
just come in and
geekdom
be a
will
superstar right
not
away.
let him do take on roles that's
Yeah,
not true to the source material. I'm just saying what the fuck happened in his first couple of roles.
it's his first starring role, dog.
Okay, all right.
You know
So
what I mean?
caveat. Put an
Well,
asterisk.
second, technically a second,
Put an
because he
asterisk
did Immortals before that.
by your statement. That's all I'm saying.
You got to get your feet wet, dog. Okay, you can't come in with the belt. You gotta fight for the belt, man. All right, that's how it happens. Another quick one. Uh, there are some rumors that Garrett Dillahunt is playing Green Arrow in the Green Lantern TV show. He
Garrett
posted
Dillahunt. What has he been in?
a lot of stuff, man. I know him
I gotta
from
get better with putting
you
names
do,
in,
man. You really
because
do. I
I'm
know him
very
from
bad at this.
he generally, honestly, he's an interesting actor because he generally plays bad guys,
Hmm.
but he was on this show called Raising Hope. That was a sitcom where he played like the kind of like the silly father figure or father, and he was really funny. But everything else I've seen him in, you ever see Looper? You ever see Looper?
Yes.
The the one with Bruce Willis,
With
and
Bruce
he
Willis.
goes
Yeah.
back in time.
Yes.
He was the bad guy in that. He was the guy like
Okay.
hunting them down. That's Garrett
Got you.
Dillahunt.
Got you.
And on his Twitter, he posted, or X or whatever, he posted a picture because he is on that show, the Lantern show, and he posted a picture of him with the green domino mask, a hood, and he's got the goatee, the very specific green arrow goatee, and then some of the art that was supposed to go with the film, and seeing how like it looked exactly the same. And so he didn't say he was Green Arrow, but the rumor started, and then he backtracked and said no, he's just playing around. James Gunn said no, it's not happening. I personally think they're lying because that Green Arrow has a very specific look, and the goatee alone
This is the
gives it
way.
away. So I think it's interesting. Green Arrow is one of my favorite DC characters, so I hope that's true. Green Arrow and Green Lantern
Huh?
also had a comic book together for
Who
years.
like? Wait,
So,
who the fuck likes Green Lantern? I mean, not Green Lantern. Green Arrow.
you don't like Green Arrow? What do you mean?
No.
What's wrong with Green Arrow?
What's right with Green Arrow is a better
He's
question.
a dope character. What do you mean? He
Nah,
shoots arrows at people. He's
it's not
like,
the. It's not the dude.
yeah,
The
really is.
TV
He really is.
show was
And
fucking ass.
no, the TV show was not ass, but the TV show was not like the comic. That wasn't the Green Arrow from the comics. That was Batman with shooting bows and arrows wearing green. But I still liked it. But no, the Green Arrow from the comics is he's a fun character, and him and Green Lantern have this like
They have
friendship,
it. Yeah, they have a dynamic.
and
Like he's like, yeah,
yeah. So
moral
and I
compass.
think there were people I was reading online that were saying like, well, like he's almost 60 years old, and but it's like the guy playing Hal Jordan is also about 60 years old, so it would make sense kind of to have a Green Arrow in it around that same age. And if that's where they're going, the guy playing Guy Gardner,
Yeah, that's all that matters.
he's about that age.
The best Green Arrow.
He,
I mean, best Green Lantern.
he's absolutely the worst Green Lantern. You have the worst
What
taste
the
in some of
fuck?
these characters.
What the
Guy
fuck?
Gardner
Really?
sucks,
Guy
man. What are
Gardner
you
has the
talking
most.
about?
He's the best Green
No,
Lantern,
he's
bro.
not. He is
Oh
definitely
my
the worst
god,
Green Lantern.
this is wild.
Kilowog is better than him.
Killer.
Like, come on,
What?
man. Like, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's
Yeah,
an awful character.
listen, most personality.
You just like assholes. That's what it is.
He,
You
he
like
brings
assholes.
he, he brings another dynamic to the
Yeah.
fray.
All right. Let's talk some Daredevil real quick.
Let's get after it.
Um tell me the season's wrapped. Season's up. The first season. I don't know, what was there, 8 episodes,
Mhm.
9 episodes? What'd you think? What's your quick review on that?
Um. So first of all, I listen. So I didn't know how many episodes was in the season.
Me neither.
And in my mind, so I'm literally frantically searching Disney Plus for the next episode. Like, what the fuck is going on? Are they skipping a week? Is this a mid series break? Come to
Hmm.
find out, it's the end of the first season.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was good. I think it was very slow.
Slow burn.
Um, which is kind of weird when you have a already developed character and other and associated roles are already kind of developed. Um, I don't think it needed as much of a slow burn as they did. Like it, you could have did the whole, I'm walking away and Fisk is coming back, and is he really still the kingpin, or is Wilson Fisk into the fray? Um, a little bit faster. Um, I think once it picked up though, it was awesome.
Mhm.
I think once it picked up, once he, you know, get that old thing back for all intents and purposes, it was awesome. I like, John was John Barathol, my guy.
My guy.
Um, I think uh what's the guy Muse?
Muse. Yeah.
They did a great job with him. Bullseye, I like the route that they went with Bullseye.
Mhm.
I like the development of Kingpin using politics to essentially combat his enemies.
Mhm.
Um, his wife annoys me. Like it's one of the parts of the show that I don't like. I don't like her as a character. Um, but it was good. It was everything I expected it to be, except it was just a little slower than I
Mhm.
expected it to be.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Definitely a slow burn. It was a slow burn, but I wasn't bored by it at all. I wasn't disinterested in it at all. Daredevil is my favorite Marvel character. It's like the one Marvel comic that I've read the most.
Hmm.
Um, the Born Again plot line in the comics is a little bit of a slow burn. Um, because there's not a lot of him um being Daredevil, because he kind of can't be Daredevil because that's the situation. Um, and I like the courtroom stuff. That's one of the reasons why I like reading Daredevil, because it's like you can do like a courtroom drama, and I think that's a interesting dynamic in the comics. So I like all that, but I will say, like, this is obviously like, what is that called, a prologue?
Hmm.
It's a prologue, right? Like, they were just setting everything up and setting everybody up. The character that I felt was the most annoying was the James Gandolfini's son. The he was like
Oh, the his
what's
his
his name?
his new ward, shall we say?
Yeah, that kid. He
Um,
he was annoying, I'm like, I'm waiting to see what happens with him, because he just annoyed me, and I was kind of like, who cares about this character? Um, the other thing that I was kind of like, I wish they could do more, is like the story part of the Kingpin's whole effort politically was to take on vigilantes, and they kept saying that the city has too many vigilantes, but they were only showing like one vigilante, and it was like, it'd have been nice to just like throw
no,
some
they
more
show more than one.
people in there. Well, they showed White Tiger, they showed the Swordsman.
The swordsman.
If you want to count Muse as a vigilante, I guess he wears a mask, I guess. And they had Daredevil.
Well,
Is
so
you know,
he wasn't. He purposely wasn't identifying vigilantes as just heroes, right? So
True. Right.
And
I get
like
that.
the
Yeah.
way he had people looking at it, you could say Bullseye was a vigilante. You
Hmm.
could say Muse was a vigilante. Um, you, you can only, I think you can only display but so many before it gets to the point where it's like, all right,
Well, so here's my thing about what you're saying. They had this whole BB what's her name? BB the
um,
reporter girl.
the
And
the guy's daughter,
yeah, I think it's his niece. She was playing
his
his
niece.
niece.
Okay.
And she's doing this like man on the street thing, and then we saw like the swordsman in someone's camera. So it's like there's a lot of like social media stuff. That's when you show the vigilantes, like show us that there are a bunch of vigilantes and people are fascinated by them at the very least, so that they record them, or what I mean. Like I know you maybe you can't show Spider-Man, but maybe you can show Iron Fist,
Well,
or
they mentioned Spider Man.
they do mention Spider-Man. I know they mention everybody. They mention a lot of people, but it's like it just would have been. I think it would have been fuller,
Mm.
more well explained visually if they had just some visuals of them. But then my, I think I can for sure say now, the Punisher is my favorite MCU character, and I think that's saying a lot because obviously like there's Black Panther, there's Spider-Man, Daredevil, but like when he in that last episode he's in Matt's apartment and he's like, there's a van full of dudes downstairs. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. He says, I'm just letting you know when they come up here, I'm chopping them up.
Yeah, he
I said,
said,
that's it.
said,
That's
yeah.
it. He like just give me a more Punisher. Give me a Punisher series. I don't even want the one off anymore. I want a series. I want many seasons. John Barenthal. Put him in Doomsday too. It won't make sense. I don't care. That whole sequence, both of his fight scenes actually, but that whole fight scene with him and Daredevil was dope. It was definitely the best of this series for sure, or that this
Listen,
season for sure.
the fight. Listen, the best thing about the Punisher's character, right, is they haven't made it too comic booky,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He's actually like steepled in reality. Like you could see somebody existing in the world that does this.
yeah.
Um, but I would listen. I know you said TV show. I want him in a movie. Put him in a movie.
Anything. I'll
You know
take
what I'm saying?
anything. I'll take anything with that guy in it, playing that character. It's just, yeah, he's knocking it out the park, man. Um, I was glad they brought him back because obviously they showed him earlier in the season. It was just like a 5 minute scene or whatever, and I thought that was gonna be it. So I was glad they brought him back. Um, you good? Anything else on Daredevil? Good on that. I'm looking forward to the second season. I think they've set up something good. So
I do. Here's the thing. This is why, like I said, slow burn. If they were going to do such a slow burn, I feel like they should have had more episodes in the first season. Um, because now we gotta wait, and I hate waiting.
you don't gotta wait that long. They're finishing up filming already. They've been filming.
Still gonna be about 6 months before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, although I do have a thing about that, right? Because I hear that a lot. It's like, man, I gotta wait like a year. But if you remember, before we were streaming
Mhm.
and binge watching shows, you know, shows started in September and ended in April,
All right.
and then we waited several months before the next one. It
No,
seems
no.
longer because
So
we're binge watching. Like
I'm
we're watching a show in a full season in 2 weeks or less, and then it seems longer, but it's
I'm
really not. It's the
fine.
same.
I'm fine with the wait. I just think if you're gonna leave it where you left it, I would have rather you left it maybe one or two episodes further than where you left it.
Okay,
Like I
I
think
got
there's natural points where you can pause a show, and I don't think this was one of them for Daredevil.
I
Like
got
I
you.
said, like it left it like, okay, like it would have been like if they did something. So he comes to the bar and we got to take the city back, right? And it's showing you showing all the human like all the human characters for
Yeah,
all intents and purposes. How are you planning on doing this, right? Like it would
mm,
have been different if he walked in the bar and maybe Iron Fist was in there or Luke
yeah.
Cage was in there. Like then that's a natural clip. Okay, he locked and loaded, Fist locked and loaded. Let's wait for season two.
Mm. I got a feeling they are going to be in it in season 2 also. But yeah, so I get it. Like the cliffhanger wasn't
Yeah,
cliffhanger
it
read
wasn't
enough
cliffhanger.
for
Like I
me.
said, when
I got
you
it.
if it's natural, like I'm literally searching for the next episode because I'm thinking like there's more to come for this season. But
Yeah, yeah. I got you. I'm with you. Um, all right, so let's move on to our review here. So first off, for the few people that have been watching the show that we posted, uh, uh, we are supposed to do Rambo Last Blood tonight, but there's been a movie that came out that has I don't know, blown the doors off of cinema right now that I think
pretty
we need to
much.
discuss. That Ern, I know you think we need to discuss. But just to review Rambo real quick, Rambo 4 is trash. I didn't like it. Um,
Whoa! Wait!
didn't think I didn't think it should.
Groundbreaking
Yeah,
moment
I
of
didn't
our
like it. I didn't
podcast.
think it should be made.
First
I don't
time
think it
you
should have
ever.
been made. Uh, I didn't even really like the action scenes for real, for real. So yeah, add that to. Oh, and that brings me to something. I was supposed to give you a top 5 trash.
Trash movies.
Yeah, I couldn't find 5. I could only do 2, and this was one of them.
This is what.
And Madam Web was one of them.
Okay.
So we're all just gonna have to live with the fact that I just don't, in general, find movies to be
So
trash.
that
It's
makes
just what it
that
is.
makes the fact that you're saying this movie is trash even worse. That you can't even tell it's trash. And I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly agree. Listen, it's a terrible movie. Plot's terrible. Action sequences aren't that great. Um, they didn't even give me. They didn't. I don't even want to discuss it, but they
yeah.
they didn't even give me the traditional Rambo bandana.
Rambo
Like I'm like,
Headband. Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is
How
going
do you
on?
forget that? That's like, I don't know. That's like James Bond not saying like Bond, James Bond. Like you can't
Yeah.
forget that in
Right.
the James Bond
Yeah.
movie. You
Yeah.
can't
That's
forget
it
that
was
in the
weird.
Rambo movie. That
It
was
was
weird.
weird.
And he should have died at the end.
But
You know,
listen,
he should have died at the end, and he
I
didn't
think we can
die.
leave it at the movie was trash.
The
It's
movie was
not even
trash.
worth discussing.
Correct. All right, so let's go on to what we really came here for. Um Sinners.
Mm.
Um
Can I say
let
something
me
before you start? Something
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
wanted to say. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Am I allowed
Yes,
to
yeah.
put that out there?
Gotta
Spoiler
put
alert.
that out
Listen, I've
there.
been waiting to say that because we've been doing a lot of
Yeah,
off put movies that has already existed.
100%.
We're on the timeline now. We're on the main
Spoiler alert.
timeline right now, and spoiler alert because we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it for sure. So some quick details here. Directed and written by the great, I'm saying it now, the great Ryan Coogler. Starring Michael B. Jordan, Wunmi Masaku, yeah, Haley Steinfeld, Delroy Lindo, and Miles Caton. Budget was 90 million. So far, it's grossed 181 million. And the synopsis: trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their Mississippi hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Um, that synopsis is accurate and not accurate at the same time. Um,
It's bland enough.
yeah,
It's bland. I think it's bland on purpose.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, before you start, I just want to say this film has been out for what, 2 weeks, maybe.
Hmm.
I've seen it twice.
Mm. I've seen it once,
I'm
and I'm
going to
planning
see it
on seeing
again.
my twice will be this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll be on. Well, you'll probably be at 3 at that point. But,
Mhm.
um, so first, let me say this. Right, my favorite all time characters of any comic book, cartoon, movie are Zaymax and Tomax from
Mhm.
GI Joe,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
twin villains from GI Joe.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why this just gave me that vibes. Well, I do know why it gave me the vibes, right? But um so, and here's the thing, this is one of those movies, like, to your point, like, normally I see the trailers, you know what I'm saying? I kind of purposely didn't watch the trailers for this movie. So I honestly, like, I all I really knew was the synopsis. Well, not
Mhm.
even really the synopsis, the artwork, right, that they would put out, right?
Mhm.
So the way they portrayed the twins, to me, right there, right off the top, from the start, set the tone for the entire movie for me.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. No. I, I did watch the trailers beforehand, and I'll say the trailers didn't give you much info
Mm-hmm.
really ever. The only thing that it did give you that I wish it hadn't was it showed Haley Steinfeld becoming a vampire, or that she was a vampire. But it also showed her in the daytime, so you knew she got turned. That's the only thing I didn't like about the trailers. But other than that, the trailers were very vague all the way down the line. So didn't come into this movie really knowing anything about it, how it was going to
Right.
be set up, and I was very surprised on how it started, to the point where I was like, I could just watch this movie. Like,
It was like two different movies.
yeah, like I could just watch this movie about these two gangster black dudes who stole from Capone, swindled Capone, and made their way back down to Mississippi to run a juke joint, like, and had to deal with the KKK and past and things from their past, people from their past, and like the whole setup is a great movie in itself. That if they would have went just straight with that, it still would have been great. But then throwing in the vampires to connect to that theme of like trying to gain freedom when people are trying to take it from you, or change you to conform you, I thought was genius on Ryan Coogler's part. I think that just like all his movies, the the melding of music with the narrative and the cinematography uh, was like masterful. I actually think he's getting better at it as he goes along. So this is definitely like the best um showing of that with him, whereas like music is such an integral part of everything that happens. Um I think it's a masterpiece, man. I think um he's mastering the craft, Coogler, as he goes along. So while this is his best film, his next ones are going to be incredible. Like, just incredible. And to call it a horror film for real, I think does the movie a disservice. Um it's so much more than that. It's horror movies, all movies kind of have a theme, but um this like this isn't just a horror movie, it's a horror movie that's about something. It's really about something. A lot of things.
Listen,
And yeah, and then the performances, man, like Delroy Lindo.
bro,
I'm like,
I was just about to go
uh
there. I was just about
Delroy
listen.
Lindo is
The
amazing in this movie, man.
the casting was
Yeah,
top notch, bro.
yeah,
Listen, listen. I'm going to fucking golf clap Michael B. Jordan.
yeah,
When you can play two different people with your same face and have the audience actually believe that it's two different people,
yeah.
you've done your fucking job. What was her name?
Wunmi Mosaku.
Great character,
Mhm.
right? The overt yet subtle um symbolism or overtones that she portrayed set up a lot of the movie,
Yeah.
right? Um, what was the Caucasian lady's name? I'm told you I'm terrible with names.
Haley Steinfeld.
Killed her role,
Hmm.
right? Delroy Lindo, bro. You said the great. At this point, we gotta
He's a
call.
legend, man.
He's the guy, man.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah, yeah.
guy, bro. Like, I listen. I couldn't imagine this movie without him now. Just his portrayal that he exhibited. Um Top to bottom, like you said, the movie started off, it felt like two different movies, right? And I was so intrigued with the first part that I wasn't when the second part hit, I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
two
yeah.
different movies and both of them were flawless. Um Rennick, what's his name? Rennick?
Rennick.
Bro,
Yeah,
bro, this is how you make a villain, right? This is how you should do a villain. Sympathetic. There's some sympathy involved, right? The way he speaks, the way he talks, right? Everything comes across, right? If you can understand his plight
yeah.
for all intents and purposes. I listen, top billing, masterpiece. You said masterpiece. I'm gonna agree with it.
Yeah.
The outside of the visual aspects of it, the audible aspects of it
Mhm.
were amazing. Um, I don't listen. This I don't know. Like it is so. We can talk about this for 15
There's
hours.
so it's such
It's
a
so
it's
much.
such a full movie. It's such a full movie. Somehow Ryan Coogler was able to give us a movie that packed in everything. I mean, there's drama, there's action, there's horror, there's comedy, there's romance. It's everything is in it. There's so many themes and so many lessons and so many like main cast members.
Hmm.
Like that is it's hard to navigate all that. And somehow he did this and made this like very cohesive um movie with very little plot holes. The plot holes, again, I didn't even see the plot holes the first time. I saw
I
them the
can't.
second time, and
Well,
they just come from the vampires, and vampires always have plot holes. There's
I
always
don't.
plot holes
Well,
in
I
vampires.
don't. You got to explain these. Well, so I listen.
Well,
I I haven't seen it twice,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I couldn't give you a plot hole.
Yeah, it just had to do with like vampire power. Like the biggest one specifically was kind of the whole thing with them. So the vampires have a hive mind, right? So like they feel what was it Remick, right? Remick. They feel what he feels. They know what he knows, and he knows everything they know. But somehow Stack and I think her name is Mary. I
Hmm.
think it was Mary. I don't remember. Stack and the White John. They they kind of have their own plan. At least it's alluded to because when I need to learn the characters' names, but when Woonmi dies,
Hmm.
um, it is Mary. Mary is gets visibly upset by that
Yep.
as a vampire, and it's alluded to because they wanted to be together. They wanted Stack and Mary wanted Smoke and the other John to turn vampire, and they would be their own thing.
But I don't. So
And
here's
and
my
she just takes
the
off and runs. He picks her up and she takes off and runs into the night.
here's my difference of opinion. Right.
Okay.
I don't think. I think we assume vampires have a hive mind. The gist I got from it was that they understood where each other's memories, right? If I created you, I understood your memories, but I'm an individual. And the reason I got that the most is because when they first attacked, right? When I can't remember. I'm not even gonna try names. But when they first opened the doors and they walked in, they all attacked the person that they technically love, right? Or that they had the most relationship with. So like the Asian guy attacked his wife, right?
Right.
They went at it.
Mhm.
Mary and
I find her name
Stack,
is
Mary and Stack attack Smoke and his girl. Like so I don't think that they have a hive mind. Hive minds means there's one
yeah.
that controls the rest of them. I don't think there was any control by Rennick over them. I think he just created them and he knew where they were. He knew what had transpired to that point in their lives,
So now I have a reason to see it a third time to make sure
right?
that
And
you're
and
right
and
about
and
that.
the consent and the confirmation that I get from that is because I believe from what I think is if you have a hive mind, if you kill the head of the hive, everybody else dies, right?
Well, I mean,
For
yeah,
the
but we'll
most part,
never know that because of how the scenario worked out, right? Because they just all died from being out in the sun, all of them.
but no, not all of them.
Yeah, all of them except for Stack and Mary,
And
they
Mary,
got away. But everybody else was
what?
outside in the water,
Right, but
and the sun
that's
came out
my
and they all
point.
died.
If you killed Rennick, right, Stack and Mary would have died as well, or
I
should
got
have died,
you. True that.
right?
True that. Yeah, yeah.
But they didn't.
Hmm.
So, um,
True
I
that.
I just want so I let me ask you this: was the musical scene in the juke joint not one of the best scenes
One of so,
that you've ever seen?
yes, it is one of the most creative and I don't what's the other word I'm looking for, like engaging scene I've seen in a long time. Like I wanted to see everything. I needed to know what was going on. I needed to know how everything connected. It was this thing of like I'm very so so for me personally, recently I went to the African American Museum of Music in Nashville,
Okay.
and a big part of that museum talking about how not only is blues the like really the only like true original American art form, it is inside of every musical art form that we have today. Every genre of music we have now can trace its lineage to the blues.
Okay.
And that's what that scene was showing. Now it did add some other things, like obviously it added some of the Cantonese stuff in there too. Um, which obviously isn't an American thing, but like everything else that was in there, the rock, the Afro beats, the rap, all that stuff, twerking, all that stuff comes from African heritage, which is where the blues comes from. If
Hmm.
you haven't gone to that museum, I really do suggest you go
Okay.
if you really like
So
music. But that
that's
was kind of that was what it was doing. Like it
that's
was encompassing everything I learned at that museum right there in that scene.
that scene, and then you jump to what I affectionately deemed the Irish Soul Train line, where
Yeah,
my
I'm glad
man
you're talking about
Cornbread
this.
was getting busy.
Yeah,
Love that scene.
I'm
Like
glad you're talking about. We need to talk about that. Like
loved it.
because it's the parallel or the juxtaposition, no, not juxtaposition, the parallels, the contrast of those two scenes, right? They don't come that far apart from each other
Hmm.
in the movie, and it's as kind of beautiful as that first song is, where Preacher Boy is playing and singing. the Irish like jig scene is as disturbing as that scene is beautiful, because you got like it's just like here's this
Is
Irish
it
guy,
was
he's
it
doing the whole
disturb
Irish
was it
jig.
disturbing because it was vampires doing it? Because
Well,
I don't think it was disturbing at all. I thought it was
no,
fire.
no, it was disturbing because of the people around him enjoying it. It
Okay.
was I think that was the point of it. It was supposed to be disturbing. It was supposed to be like a visual interpretation what am I trying to say? I can't think of the words. But it was it
Make
was
up
like a
make up
bunch of
something
people that
that shouldn't be there.
aren't necessarily supposed to be there doing that, and they're doing it. We just had seen them in there dancing and jigging on the dance floor
Mm,
to this blues music, and now they're dancing like, for lack of a better term, white people that can't dance to this to
right.
this um to this Irish music, and there was a disturbing nature to it
Yeah,
that
see the contrast between the
the
two was disturbing.
contrast was powerful. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, like that's what I'm saying. There's themes of like others taking from you and repurposing, and that's kind of what it was showing. It was like you took these people, and now you've repurposed them into something else, and it's not it doesn't seem natural. And to me seeing it the second time again, it hit way harder, noticing all those things. So
Mhm.
when you see it again, check that out and tell me what you think about that, because that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
What was your? Let me ask you. What were your thoughts? So the end, right?
Hmm.
So Rennick corners Preacher Boy, has him in late, right? And Preacher Boy starts saying the prayer,
Yeah,
and Rennick essentially, from what I took from it was he said, "I'm I'm more like you than you think." You know what I'm saying? Like the people that made me the way I am said this prayer to me as well. You know what I'm saying? And he starts repeat. Now they're saying it back and forth. So like it alleviate, like when we say the word contrast, right? We made Rennick this evil person who just wants to. Is is Rennick really evil, or is he just trying to create his own community?
yeah. So the way I interpret it, yes, exactly that. Rennick is not evil. Um, he he's not. He could eat these people and they could die, and that's it. But he's not. That's not what he's doing. He's trying to build a family. He's trying to build more people like him because he's the
Mm,
only one, right?
right.
But what how I interpreted that also is what we Rennick, when we first see him, he has a southern accent, but then he'll break into his Irish accent. So how obviously he's a very old vampire from another from Ireland, from another
Hmm.
country, right? He's a very old, and he's singing what sounds to me to be like an older Irish song when he does sing. The Irish had a lot taken from them as well, right? So like a lot of the indentured servants that came over here were Irish. Even in Ireland, um, the England took a lot away from them. So that was, I felt just like you were saying, like that was them kind of showing like there we have a common connection. Like something was taken from me too.
Hmm.
Um, and then there are a lot of people that will say like Christianity isn't necessarily um, for black people. Like Christianity was used during uh, during slavery to indoctrinate slaves.
Correct.
So I think it's alluding to that too. Like this thing, like we do have a common connection and a common, maybe even like, enemy.
So
um
the subtle, the not. Here's the thing: the not so subtle, and I love the fact that it was not so subtle.
mm,
Symbolism of a lot of this movie
mm-hmm,
is what makes it great, right?
mm,
So you have this black community that's ultimately, for all intents and purposes, I hate to say it, but destroyed by a white woman, right? There's that.
yeah,
Okay.
yep,
You have the Asian community who's here as long as we're making money and we're doing great. But as she said, we're not here to help them fight this part of it, right?
yeah,
You have that. Um, you have black people turning on black people to essentially appease another culture. You have
yep,
that. That's what I'm saying. I think that, like, I always tell people like this: listen, if you are sending a message and nobody gets the message, then you did a bad job sending
mm-hmm,
that message.
mm-hmm,
And the fact that I think everybody got the major symbolisms, now there might have been some one or two things that went over other people's head. I think that's why you classify this as a masterpiece,
absolutely,
right? You
absolutely,
have you have I think if you look from beginning to end to post credits, right? You have the dynamic of church, and one person's perception of church isn't the same as another person's perception of church,
right,
right? Um, I think he did a great job with symbolism. Just
yeah,
right.
absolutely,
Um, I love the fact that in this group of African Americans, right? It seemed that the wisest person, the darker you were, the wiser you were, right?
yes, absolutely,
Like
absolutely,
the
Uh,
symbolism was on this full display, and I think everybody got it.
yeah. And what one the one thing that is, I think I'm most proud about this movie that Ryan Coogler has done is, like, this movie is black.
Oh yeah.
Like, this ain't this he's not he may be doing things, with he's absolutely using symbolism for things, but he's also he's putting it in your face, like this is a black movie. Anybody can
Mhm.
come and enjoy it, but he's telling a black story about how it was and still is for black people in this country. Um, he used, and this is probably, I think, um, this is one of the best things. This is one of the best things about the movie. He, like you said, the darker you are, the more wise you are. But also, like, Annie is her name in the movie. Wunmi Mosaku. She not only dark skinned, she's beautiful,
Oh yeah,
but
facts.
she is not
And
what
voluptuous.
Hollywood, yeah, exactly. But she is not what Hollywood would consider, like, leading actress beautiful, right? But he made her like the love interest of the hero. That's a big deal, man. That's a really big deal. She's a phenomenal actress. I've seen her in lots of stuff. If you haven't seen Lovecraft Country, you need to go
Hmm.
watch that because she's in that. She's amazing. Um, but to have someone that looks like her be like, not just like the wise black woman, but also like the sexy black woman too.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. And he did so many things with that. My favorite scene is a scene with Delroy Lindo when they're driving in the car and they stop and they see the
And
chain
stop.
gang,
Yeah.
and then he starts telling them that story. And then you were talking about the audible things. Like, while he's telling that story, I don't know if you noticed, but you can hear the lynching happening. It's a
Hmm. Yeah.
It's audio of it while he's telling the story. Delroy Lindo does so many like amazing things um in just that one little scene. Like uh two things stand out in particular. When Preacher Boy asks him like, well, what you do with the money or whatever, he turns around and like he looks at him like, boy, I'll slap you. But then
Mhm.
it's like a look of, but then it kind of quickly turns into like, he's young, he doesn't know. And then he starts telling the story. It's like a masterful of acting right there. And then he does again where he takes us back to the music of the whole thing. And he's like, he finishes his story and he does this like sound. It's like
And
of
then they
like pain. He goes
and
like, he goes,
and then they start singing, and
and
then
then
they
he uses that to start making a making music, and it's like, because that's the blues. And I was just like, I was sitting there just like, Ryan Coogler is a genius, man. And Delroy Lindo was obviously very in sync with him and understood the assignment. And it's like all of that is just like, it's black, man. It's just it's part of our history and part of it's part of all the things we do now. I mean, rap comes from that. You know what I mean? Hip hop comes from that. Everything in our culture comes from that stuff. And yeah, there's so much to take from it. I'm going to see it a third time for sure, and I'm sure I'll find new stuff. That's the type of movie it is. Every time you watch it, you're going to find something new to take from it. It's just amazing, man. It was amazing. No weak link in the entire cast, by the way. No
on
weak
the
link.
facts. Um, so I'm gonna throw this at you. So I've been, because now that I've seen it, and then you go down the deep dive of reviews and see what other people thought about X, Y, Z.
Mhm.
Some of the things that I heard that intrigued me. Right? They said the seven main characters were based on the seven deadly sins. Right? So
Interesting.
you have trying to think of like make sure I can remember this properly. Right? So you have Smoke and Stack. Right? Who
Mhm.
are essentially greed, because you have Stack who just worried about money, right?
Yep.
And you have uh Smoke who's wrath, right? Like he's a soldier, right? XYZ. Well, they're both
Oh,
soldiers,
okay.
right?
Yep.
You have Delroy Lindo's character who was gluttony, right? Couldn't stop drinking.
Mhm.
Um the what's her name? I can't remember. The chick that was married that preacher boy got with.
Ye- um, yeah, I don't remember her name either. I know
So
what you're talking about.
she was
The
lust.
bad dark skin John.
Yeah, the bad dark
Yeah,
skin Joan. That's the proper
call
way to
her that.
classify it.
Yeah.
But she was lust because she was married. She met somebody she liked. She showed up at the club anyway, right?
Right. Right.
You
Right.
had you had Pride and Annie, right?
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Um, Sloth was preacher boy because he had these incredible talents that he refused. He the way they described it, which this one kind of threw me off a little bit, but they said he refused to accept his dad's teaching, so he was lazy in that regard. He just wanted to be out partying. Like when his dad
Okay.
was like, he's like, I want to be free of this right for a week. I've been working all week. I want to be free of this all week. So he's kind of lazy. And then Envy was Rennick because he envied the community that they had and he wanted to create his own.
Right. 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 Wow. Okay. And I mean, I didn't think about that at all, and that makes total sense. I mean, especially with the title
Yeah.
being sinners. Yeah. No, I'm looking at this TikTok now, and it's explaining that. Yeah. Yeah. Sloth might be a pushing it a little bit,
I
but
think
I
Floss
do
was
see
with
what they're saying.
that's the only one that kind of threw me off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But I get it though. I get it. And you said, oh yeah, Delta Slim. He's gluttony. Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And the thing is,
Yeah,
if
man.
you there's
That's
multiple
crazy.
there's multiple ones, and everybody classifies them little differently.
Yeah,
Like some people will classify smoke as pride, but the one I
yeah,
watched that I thought made the most sense, top to bottom,
yeah.
was that one. So, um,
I would say what's her name? the Asian lady, Grace is kind of wrath at some point too, right?
Wrath or pride, because she's the one that thinks she's her life, her family is more important than
More
everybody
important than everybody
else,
else, right?
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So she's the
yeah.
one. She pretty much lets let's say let the slaughter begin
She
because
lets
she's
everybody in. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's incredible, man. Kind of as we're kind of wrapping this up, you know, there's there's two post credit scenes. You saw those, right?
yes.
I thought it was I thought it was a genius move.
What's your thoughts on the post credit scenes first and
Well,
foremost?
I'll tell you. But
Okay.
first, like it was a genius move to use a newer cinematic trope that we're all used to in the post credit scenes. Um, but instead of using them to be like this is what's coming next, he used it to wrap up the story.
See,
So
I
it's like
disagree. I
I,
disagree.
you don't think he used it to wrap up the story, or
I
you don't
think
think it was
he
a genius
I think
move?
it was genius, but I think he used it to show you what's coming next.
Well, so here's my thoughts. The mid credit scene, sure, absolutely. I mean, like it leaves open something, right? Because Stack and Mary are still alive. So if they're still alive, they can still do whatever. You know what I mean? For sure. But the post credit scene where Sammy Preacher Boy is singing "This Little Light of Mine" wraps up this particular story in that his his story really kind of the theme of the whole story is not letting something take your light away and letting your light shine. Like his father was trying to take his light away,
Mm-hmm.
Remick was trying to take his light away. It's like by telling him that his song opened up this or not opened up but brought in something unnatural is a way to try to make him um uh quiet himself, stop doing the thing that is his light, and even to the point where he was willing to sacrifice himself and go with Remick to stop it all. And him at the end finally realizing like, no, I'm not going to let go of this guitar handle, and I'm going to leave and I'm going to become one of the greatest blues musicians of all time, because I'm not going to let evil stamp out my light, because even though it may attract some things, it brings more light than it does darkness. That's what he's saying by sitting there singing "This Little Light of Mine" in a blues version of the song.
I
So
don't
it
know,
wraps
Cap.
it up.
I don't know. I got a
Wraps up
different
the
perspective.
message.
I think it leads to what I'm affectionately calling the sinner's verse, right?
Okay.
I think you're gonna get multiple movies out of this, right? And they're gonna if I stick with who I think Ryan Coogler is, right? I don't think all the movies even have the same or in the same genre, right? So I think you get a Smoke and Stack movie where they're in New York and they're working for a mob boss, prequel, whatever you want to call it, and
With no
they
supernatural stuff though.
no supernatural stuff involved, right?
Okay.
I think you get a movie where Preacher Boy is essentially a vampire hunter. And I think that's what this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, kind of leads to for me. Like, okay, I literally have this superpower where I can bring together my ancestors or whatever it is, and I'm going to let it out, right? I think
Interesting.
you get a movie where you get uh Stack and Mary as they transverse the world as
Mhm.
vampires, right? And then ultimately, I think you get a endgame movie, some type of endgame movie. I think there's a lot more to this story than people than I don't think Ryan Coogler ever meant this to be a standalone movie. This at least that's why it's too. and I get that from when I looked at this movie. Like you have, like we said from the beginning, we thought it's kind of like two different movies, right?
Mhm.
So like, and that's why I'm like, it'd be beautiful to do connected movies that are total different genres. Like you're gonna bring in one that's just a drama, and then one that's the action, and then once like, and then tie it all together in the back end. Um, I think what they showed is that Preacher Boy had something that nobody else had, right?
Mhm.
To the point where when they talked about it in the beginning, they're like, "Yo, there's certain people that music can veil the difference between life and death." Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I think the mid credit scene is him realizing what he has, right? So this
As
is
an
my
old
light,
man?
huh?
You mean as a? Oh, you mean the post credit scene where he's singing? Oh, got you in the
Yeah. So
church.
this is
Got you.
my light,
Mhm.
and I'm going to let it shine.
Mhm.
And then something that I take from another review that I seen, if you actually watch that scene, he starts to look up like somebody came in,
Mhm. At the end, yeah, when he
right?
stopped singing.
So some people have said some people have actually suggested that this is Preacher Boy selling his soul to the devil, like
Yeah,
right. Some people suggested that. I don't believe
Mhm.
that to be true.
That's
Um,
because they connected to
to
the what's his name,
the
the musician
the musician, right?
Jack Johnson.
Um, Jack Johnson.
I think it's Jack
Um,
Johnson, something like that.
and I also don't believe. So I've let you. It's like it's so much, bro. It's so much symbolism that it's not enough. They didn't wrap this movie up, right? So the ending, just the ending alone, right? Rennick is the one he says, "Yo, I'm just trying to bring us together.
Hmm.
Their people are coming to kill y'all in the morning, right?"
Hmm.
Tells them this, right? Okay, cool. People come. People think like Smoke was just like, "Yo, KKK is in the building. I mean, they're in the building. I got to put them down." Well, the doors was locked, so Mary and Stat were in the building that he was just defending, right?
Okay,
So this is how I got like the
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
he locked the doors so that the light couldn't get in. They were in the building, and I'm just defending because he could have just left. I don't give a fuck. Everybody did. I'm defending my family, even though they're vampires, right?
Hmm.
Second part is if what I believe to be true is true, that means that that Smoke and Mary also saw his dead body as they exited the building,
Hmm.
right? So like I don't think it tied up a lot of things. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I think it just left open the possibility. Even if he didn't think this could be a multi movie type situation, it left open the possibility for it.
So I, so I think first, I think you love this movie and you want more,
Most
and that's
definitely.
great. That's fine. But I think that might be clouding your judgment a little bit. But I also think we've talked about it several times how this movie is saying so much,
Oh,
and
another book.
the symbolism, there is so much of it that I think purposefully it probably means all of those things.
Could be.
Now, for me, when I watched the movie, one of the reasons why I did like it is because it did seem wrapped up. It was like it was such a journey, such a full movie, such a journey. It was nice to kind of put a bow on it and send it off. So that's why I interpreted the way that I did. But the way you're saying also makes sense. And even the like that's him selling his soul to the devil part, that makes sense.
All of it makes sense.
Maybe it's all of it. It's
It could be
probably
all of it.
supposed to be all of it,
Yeah.
or maybe Ryan Coogler has a definite answer, but he wanted us to all have our different interpretations, and that's the beauty of it. It's like the end of Inception when the top is spinning, and for years everybody is like, no, it means this, no, it means
Right.
that. He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan doesn't have an answer for that. He doesn't have one. It's just
Shit.
whatever
He could come out with an answer for it tomorrow.
he
You know
could
what?
he could.
Also, the other movie I need in my Center's verse is I need the Native American vampire hunters.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I I thought we would see more of them, but it also made sense that they didn't come at night since they took off as the sun was going
So
down.
the crazy part
But
of the can I tell you what I got from it? I
what?
don't think it was the night. So granted, the night was coming down, and this is the genius of Ryan Coogler, right? The vampire that knocked, I mean, the Native American that knocked on the door. I feel like he was just like, "Yo, let us in. We gotta find." Until he looked and saw the KKK outfit, then he was like, "Oh, they beyond reproach. Fuck them."
Mhm. Well,
That's what I.
he did say a prayer for them though. He said a prayer.
That's what you say for people who are beyond reproach. Say a prayer and you walk away, right?
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna keep trying to save you if I know I can't save you. I'm just gonna say my prayer and I'm gonna leave.
yeah. I think it was all of that. I think it was all of that. But like, because his boy did say like, sun's going down, we need to go. So that was part of it too. But yeah, I
That's
think
part
it
of
was
it
all of
too.
that, and I think I would love to know what how they tracked down Rennick and how long they were chasing him, if they had captured him at one point, how that whole thing went. I think there is
This
definitely a
this
whole
would be
story
a
there.
great movie, and I don't think you do it with like you know how when they do the movies come to DVD and they have an actor watching the movie and he's talking about it.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
would love to
yeah,
hear this come to DVD and Ryan Coogler is like, this is what I was thinking here and boom boom boom. I would love to see it.
yeah. I definitely would. I'd watch that. Um, by the way, one of the what are those called? Those are called like director's commentary. One of
Yeah.
the greatest director's commentary is Anchorman. I
Will
don't know if you
Ferrell.
ever
Listen,
have
first
you
of all,
listened to that, John.
I think I don't know if I told you about this or you told me about this, but we used to watch this religiously because he's like, I'm just gonna start it off with fucking fuzzy nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like what? What? Yeah, one of the greatest
Yo,
director's
it's one of the
commentaries
greatest
ever.
ever, man. And then what's his face? The singer, what's the boy name? Lou Rawls
Um
comes in
yes,
out of
yes.
nowhere. Has nothing to do with the movie at all. Doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah, it's one of the best ever. One of the greatest commentaries. But yeah, I would definitely watch the Sinners commentary because there's just so much
A
to
lot
take
to it.
from it. I
I'm gonna
love
I'm gonna go I'm gonna
to
go
hear what
see it
he has to
again.
say.
I'm probably gonna have different thoughts after I first see it again, but
Oh, you definitely have different thoughts because you're gonna see. I'm telling you, you're gonna see more. You're gonna
mhm.
see just how much he's put into this that you missed the first time around. You got to see it multiple times. This is going to be a movie that you buy,
Facts.
VOD or whatever, and you go back to once a year or something
This
like that.
this is gonna be a
Yeah,
movie that anytime it
this is a
comes on, you
classic.
just watch it.
Yeah,
Classic, classic
absolute
in the
classic.
making. I
Mhm.
100% agree.
Yeah. And like I said, he I've seen all his movies. He started off great, Fruitvale Station. He's getting better as he goes. I know a lot of people may not have loved Wakanda Forever, but like
Trash.
what he had to, it's
Wasn't
not
trash.
trash.
It wasn't trash.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't trash. I won't
trash.
go that
Come on,
far.
man.
It
For
wasn't
what
good. It
for
wasn't good.
what for what he had to do to even make a good movie, you gotta consider the work that was put in and the creativity that was put in
I no. I listen.
to do
Here's the
that.
thing.
It ta-
I
it
can
takes it
watch.
takes a super genius to do that movie for
I
sure.
can watch Wakanda forever. The issue was you set the bar so high with the first Black Panther, and you didn't. I don't think. I
I
don't
think
think.
the issue was your main actor passed away, and
uh,
people didn't want you to recast him, and
Who
Marvel didn't
I
want you to
don't I
recast him.
okay,
That was the main issue.
that might be part of it. That's true. I don't know how he felt about it. Um but I think yeah, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. You lose T'Challa, but even that story with T'Challa, I think I don't know. It's still a good movie. It's still a good movie.
Yeah,
I probably say like 6 out of 10 or something like that. It's not
yeah,
terrible. It's not
that's fair.
Rambo Last Blood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's also not the
-1
first
out of
best.
10.
Right. So, but I
Uh,
agree. And here's where I say this is his. He's 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 hit his peak, right? So like you said, Fruitville Station, true story. Easy to tell the truth. Some people will say easy to tell the true story, right? Uh Black Panther source material is available, right? This he created this.
yeah. Even Creed has source material
Source
up front.
material is available, right? He
Yeah, yeah,
created this. So
yeah.
kudos, golf clap to him.
I,
I'm
I
looking forward to anything he does in the future.
yeah, I wouldn't even say he's hit his peak yet, man.
I'm
He
not saying he is peak, but
he's scratching the surface.
he's starting to get
Yeah,
into
he is
his
scratching the
element. Yeah.
surface, and whatever he does next is going to be incredible. I know it's going to be
Give
incredible.
me,
So
give me, and you can take my money now if this ever happens. Give me a Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele.
Doug, they
Give it
have
to me. Take
I
my
just
money now, bro.
listened to, like, Ryan Coogler has a podcast, and I just listened to it, and he interviews Jordan Peele. And these two dudes are on another level, man. Just like of thinking, and you gotta listen to. I'll send it to you. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Take my
Horror,
money now.
do it in the horror genre too.
You can do, but you can do it in. You can do the same thing. You can tell two different stories in the
Yeah,
same movie. Like you take the first act, I'll take the second. He take the
mhm,
third. Bro, take my money now.
yeah, yeah. And put Michael B. Jordan and Daniel Kaluuya in it.
There you go.
Put both of them in it. Oh, by the way, Michael B. Jordan's best performance by far. We talked about that, but like I want to make sure I say it. By far his best performance, Doc.
Well, yeah, because he played two different people. So yes,
He played two different
yes.
people, and you like you said, like, you forgot that he's playing two different people. You
No,
forgot
I
that it's
agree.
being played by one
You get
person.
no pushback from me on that argument. But Michael B. Jordan has classic performance.
Not like this one. Not like this one. Nah.
Killmonger was like Killmonger should have won a fucking Grammy.
Kill an Oscar.
That
An
too.
Oscar.
Both of them. Both of them.
Killmonger is great.
Both of them.
Killmonger, again, probably the best MCU villain,
Yeah.
but he's on another level with this role.
Oh
Smoke
yeah.
and Stack, the Smokestack Twins.
Is fire.
Unbelievable.
Fire.
All right, man. I think we did it. Anything else you got?
That's it, man. That's it,
This
man.
movie?
Glad to be back, man. Week off. Listen, man. This gives me life. So
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Well, then what's going to be the movie for next week for sure? Like,
What's the
what's going to be the main genre?
I think we should get back to um we've I feel kind of want to get back to the superhero genre, and I think we've talked about it a lot. So I think we should just go into Brave New World
Is,
just to get it out the way.
is that out? Is that for public consumption anywhere? Is that out?
No, I'm saying, but we've seen it, and every
Oh,
time
just because
I've
we've
went.
seen it.
I mean, if
Okay,
you yeah. So
I have seen it.
huh?
Yeah, I have seen it. So yes, I can give a review for sure. Okay, Brave New World. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting one. That's gonna be an interesting one. All right,
Hey
bet.
man, don't listen. You go out the door. If you say, I'm telling you now, there's one movie there's a couple of movies I refuse to review. So, and I'm letting you know what they are right now, right? So I'm not going to watch The Notebook. So don't say it.
Okay,
Okay, I'm
I
not
do like
watching
that movie though.
Cool, you can like it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not watching Brokeback Mountain.
I've never seen it.
Cool, great.
It's coming back out in theaters though.
It could come out. They could bring it out in the theaters every other day. I'm not watching. There's certain movies I'm just not watching, but I'll see what yours is, and then we can go from there.
Bet. It's neither one of those is my favorite movie, so don't worry about it. So all right, so Brave New World next week.
Brave New World next week. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, peace, bro.
Peace.